Yep.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, this is Tara Alemany of Emerald Lake Books, and I'm here with my friend Mark Wayne Adams.
Hi, everyone.
So one of the things that Mark and I met at the International Business of Writing Summit in Louisville, Kentucky, a couple of years ago. And then at that point in time, shortly after that, he became the president of the Florida Authors and Publishers Association. And one of the things that we've talked about quite often is the fact that I highly recommend authors submit their books to book award contests. To me, there's a lot more value in saying that you're an award-winning author than there is in saying a best-selling author, because there's so many ways to game that system. And so I wanted to talk a little bit with Mark today about the Florida Authors and Publishers Association's President's Book Award Contest, partially because the deadline for entry for this year is coming up, but also just about book awards in general. What do you see the value being?
If you are an author and you have received a book award, it separates you from the author that's sitting beside you at an event. For example, except for her. But it separates you apart from other authors that are at the event. One, because you have the decal, but that lets people know that your book has been reviewed by a professional. It has been in a competition against other books, and that's really important, I think, whenever you are publishing a book, is to be aware that there are other people who create products just like you, but you have to take it to the next level. You may not think that your writing is award-winning. I never thought that my illustrations were award-winning, but over time, different publishers have recognized me for the book awards, which is taken my platform to a totally different level. Now, whenever I get to sit around with my friends, I can say, well, you know what? You've got an award-winning friend right here.
And there is some value to that, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So how do you, when you win an award, what do you do with it?
The first thing I do is I share it with every single person I know, and then I do an outreach. One, I'll share it on social media. Yes, that's probably the fastest route. But then I share it with media professionals. For example, I will send it to my local newspaper from my hometown. Hometown Boy wins award. It's a great way to market your book. You may not live there anymore, but the people who still live there and remember you, that's one way. Newspapers, radio interviews. I also will notify my author friends if they know of a radio station that they've been interviewed on before. If you are a true author friend, you will refer to different platforms on how to promote your book. So radio, media, it may not be the media like your hometown that you live in, because I don't think the Orlando Sentinel is going to do a great write-up on me. But it would be incredible. But I call to my hometown, and everybody there is cheering.
One of the things that we've both done with our book awards when we receive them is we actually integrate them into the cover design, so that in subsequent printings of the book, it's on a bookshelf in a bookstore with that award prominently featured on it. And I think that makes a huge difference in buyers' decisions.
It does. That book award seal is not just a roll of stickers that you put on just a few books. You can actually have it printed on the cover, and it does make a difference, because when you walk into a bookstore, most people are browsing the bookstore looking for a new read, and it's easier for them to say, oh, look, there's an award-winning sticker, there's an award-winning book, there's an award-winning. I'm going to pick either a New York Times bestseller, which they write that on top of the book. Why would you not put your award sticker on your book as well?
So do you have any recommendations as to how people should choose both the right book awards for them to submit to, and then the categories within a book award?
Sure. I am a children's book illustrator, and many of my authors are teachers or former teachers. It's very important to think about what is inside your book and how it would apply to the book awards. For example, I have a book called Fly on the Wall series. It's a history from a fly's perspective. That book won an award in the education category, then also in the picture book category. And many people are like, how can you put a picture book into an education category? But you can. It fits. I also have written a YA coming-of-age novel series called Family Tree Novels. And the main character is going from one grade level to another grade level, so it can either be a juvenile fiction book or it can be a young adult book, and it's won in both categories. So, don't underestimate your book and how many categories you could win in. Cover design. Most people forget. When you enter a book award, if you love the outside of your book, not only enter it into your category, but put it into the cover design. Let your
ebook.
Yeah,
Ebook
same
categories.
thing with ebooks.
Yep.
If you have an ebook, many people will forget to put their book into that ebook category, and that's one of the lowest categories in our organization for our FAPA Book Awards, because people overlook it.
So do you have any other words of advice around book awards and what to do with them when you receive them?
Probably the best thing I would say is continue to promote the awards. If you write another book, continue to submit to the awards. Each book needs to stand alone on its own. So if you've won one award, you can't put it on the other book. So you have to continue doing that for your series.
So one of the things for me as well is the question as a publisher, where I'm a hybrid press, people come, hybrid publisher, people come and they pay me for the services. Did you know that publishers can submit to book award contests as well? So it doesn't necessarily have to be the author.
Right.
It's deciding, who is it that wants to take that position
Right.
and move ahead with it.
It's really important that if you keep a dialogue with your publisher, when they submit for a book award, and they may only submit for one category, you can come in as the author and submit for an additional category. Speak with your publisher so you don't enter the same book awards twice, and that shows the publisher that you're just as eager about participating in the success of the book as they are.
So thanks for the time, Mark. It's been nice talking to you about book awards, and hopefully everyone will find one that works well for them and submit soon.
Thank you.